Hey guys, I am doing another top 5 video, but this time it's a little more interesting and it was actually really difficult. All of these have been difficult, let's be honest. But today I want to talk about evil organizations, or more like corrupt organizations. This actually wasn't the top 5 video that I planned for this month. I actually can't even remember what I had planned, but it was like the polar opposite of this. But I am in the outlining stage, hopefully the final outlining stage of my book. I've like done 3, this is like the 3rd outline I've done so far, because I keep changing my mind about so many things or wanting to add stuff in. And one of the things that I was thinking about adding is an evil organization, or, you know, not evil, but corrupt and just against the main characters, which I nixed that idea because it just wouldn't fit in with everything else that I was trying to do. But it made me think about all of the other corrupt and evil organizations that are in fictional worlds. And to start things off, I have not read like a whole lot of books. I've read a lot of books, but I haven't read like a lot of popular books. So it's like the Grisha trilogy, the Six of Crows duology, the Legend trilogy, stuff like that. I also haven't read Throne of Glass yet, or the Lunar Chronicles. So there may be a whole lot better, you know, corrupt organizations in the fictional worlds, but these are like my top 5 from the books that I've actually read. So please don't be offended if your favorite organization isn't on this list. It's just because I may not have read that book yet. Number 1 is the DoD from the Lux series. I tried to find what DoD stand for, but it's been a long time since I've read the series, and it's like I really didn't want to start actually reading through it because I knew I would reread the series if I did, and I don't need to be traumatized again, because it traumatized me enough the first time. Because what these DoD guys do, which, you know, it could stand for Department of Defense now that I think of it, because they are a section of the government, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, these guys, I mean, I get that what they're doing is technically for the right reason, considering, you know, they're, you know, protecting the people from an alien race. Or they're not really protecting, they're just keeping the alien race regulated and under watch, which is very important. The way they go about trying to find out more about what happens to Katie in the later books, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but the way they go about doing all of that and the methods they use, it's just disgusting. And it's like you can see where in the beginning they were there to help and protect, but it's like somewhere down the line when all of this different stuff started happening to humans that interacted with the aliens, they just really got screwed up in the head, because what they were doing, I don't care if they were aliens or not, it wasn't right, it wasn't okay. I don't see why they would think it was ever okay. Moving on to number 4, we have Wicked from the Maze Runner trilogy. This is another organization that started out with good intentions. I mean, they wanted to find a cure for, I guess you would call it a virus, when more like zombies, but you know, whatever. But they just went about finding the cure in the wrong way. It wasn't really the creation of the maze that was the problem. It was just the fact that they were more than willing to let kids die, perfectly healthy kids die, just to find this cure. And it's like, that's not okay. And it's like, you know, unless they were trying to cure those that were already infected, which I'm assuming that the infected would eventually die off anyways because they were exposed to the elements, or they would starve or something, because it didn't really say anything about their eating habits. But I mean, eventually the bodies themselves would die, I would assume. But if they didn't, couldn't they just kill the infected? Because I don't see how there would be a way to cure them at this point, because it attacks the brain. So, I mean, it would have been a mercy just to kill as many of the infected as you could. I mean, maybe then it wouldn't have gotten as bad as it did. Number 3 is Baytek Industries from the Illuminae trilogy. Baytek is definitely more corrupt than evil. The thing I love about Baytek is it's an actual corporation that is massively corrupt. It's actually a good example of a lot of today's corporations. You know, I am not saying that corporations today will go around killing like entire like communities of people just to keep their secrets hidden, but it's like some of them use like products that are very harmful and they know it, or chemicals that are really bad for the environment and they just let it spread out. And it's like, yes, there's regulations for those now, but it's like not a lot of companies stick with them, or they still pollute to like the maximum that they are allowed to. And it's like, wouldn't it be better just to come up with a way that wouldn't cause like any pollution at all, or even just half the pollution that you're currently emitting? So, you know, today's companies aren't as bad as Baytek, because Baytek is literally out to kill to keep their secrets hidden, and they're actually quite ruthless and efficient about getting this done. At number 2, we have the Alchemist from the Bloodline series. Now, the Alchemists protect humans, and even though they don't like vampires, they also protect vampires from like being exposed to the public. They keep them more comfortable when it comes to like being in the public eye, much like I can't remember the character's name, but it's like Sydney's having to go to school with her and keep her comfortable while she's under witness protection. And I'm gonna have to look at what that character's name is after I finish this video because it's gonna drive me crazy. You would think the Alchemist would be more forgiving and helpful than they are to humans and vampires, but they are downright evil in what they do to their own people. I mean, they are so ruthless that it is downright inhuman. And it's not that they even know 100% that like one of their members is sympathetic with a vampire. It's more like it's like hearsay. And if they hear about you acting up in any way that they deem isn't perfect for an alchemist, then you're gonna be in a correctional facility. Then coming in at number 1 is the Capitol from the Hunger Games. This is more of a government than an organization, but the same could have been said about Wicked. And everyone in the Capitol is sick and twisted to find entertainment in kids being ripped from their home and being shoved into arena to kill each other. And their reasons for doing what they did is so incredibly stupid. I mean, they're pretty much all just power hungry, and they want control over those that they deem lesser than them. And I mean, it's so incredibly stupid how you judge where a person is born as being, you know, lesser than you. And I would love to read like a fan fiction of where the Hunger Games got turned around after what happened to Mockingjay, and instead it was the people from the Capitol that was being thrown into arena to kill each other, because it would definitely serve them right to have to deal with that kind of trauma. Well, those are my top 5 corrupt organizations. There are so many different groups and organizations and governments that work against the main character. But in your guys' opinion, out of all of the books that you've read, which do you think is the most evil? But that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!